Welcome back to Midday Kentucky, everyone. Well, as we've been saying at the top half of the show, today is election day, and it's important that you go out and vote, of course. The only constitutional amendment on the ballot this year is Marsy's Law. Now, here to tell us more about it is Ashlea. How are you, darling?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Now, just for people who maybe don't know, okay, what is Marsy's Law to begin with? Because we've been seeing ads everywhere,
Right.
and also the guy from Kramer.
Yeah.
What's his name?
From Frasier?
Oh, Frasier.
Yeah, and I'm blanking
Kramer,
right now.
I think his name's Kramer.
Oh, yeah, on Frasier. Yeah.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about it to begin with.
So Marsy's Law, like you mentioned, is a constitutional amendment. It is on the ballot this year in Kentucky, and it's an effort to incorporate a crime victims' Bill of Rights into our Constitution. 35 other states have done this already. So we're kind of trailing behind and trying to catch up here.
Okay.
Now, why should Kentuckians vote for Marsy's Law?
Well, any Kentuckian can become a crime victim. I mean, unfortunately, we could walk out of here today, and if we've been fortunate enough in our lives not to have become one, that doesn't mean that we won't. So what this does is that it elevates the level of rights up to be constitutional for victims, and it gives them very common sense things like notice, the ability to be present in the courtroom, the ability to receive restitution if they've suffered financial harms.
Yeah. This was a super important question. What is the current situation for victims in Kentucky, and how would this change that? Good viewer question.
Sure. So the current situation is not good here in Kentucky. We have a set of statutory rights, but they are wholly unenforceable for victims. So if a victim isn't provided their rights, there's nothing they can do about it right now. And Marsy's Law would change that. It would give victims the ability to enforce those rights.
Okay. All right.
Who supports Marsy's Law?
Oh gosh, lots and lots of entities, organizations, victims' rights organizations, elected officials all around the state. The legislature passed it. It was the very first bill out of the legislature this session.
Okay, why are we, I have to, just reading this that's up on the screen, why are we one of only 16 states without the constitutional rights?
That is a very good question.
I'm trying to wrap my head around it.
That's a very good question, and I've tried to rack my brain trying to figure that out. I don't know. We're behind. We need to catch up. Unfortunately, I think people misunderstand what this is a lot.
I have to be honest, I did too, and I asked several people, and me especially not being an American, I had to reread it because I got a bit confused with what it actually was. So here's, I want to dumb it down maybe even a little bit more. Marsy's Law is for people who are, say, hit by a car,
right.
All right, and is maybe the person who hit you is going to go to jail, and you are now allowing the person who was hit by the car, the victim, knowing all the information about the trial or when that person's getting out, or am I summarizing
that? That's it, exactly.
Okay.
That's you got it.
Okay, because I was a little bit concerned because I thought, I just wanted to make sure that so how important is it?
It is vitally important. It is vitally important. I work with crime survivors and victims every day, and when they go through the system and they're re-traumatized by the justice system, that shouldn't be the case here in Kentucky, and I think it's time we need to change that.
All righty.
Where can Kentuckians go to learn more about Marsy's Law?
Sure, they can go on KentuckyCrimeVictims.org or just Google Marsy's Law for Kentucky, and we have a website up.
I think that's there. It's all up on the screen for you now, everyone. Super important. There's a box on the ballot today.
There is, and it's entitled Constitutional Amendment. It is not entitled Marsy's Law.
All right, we need to make sure, just say what that is again.
Constitutional Amendment.
All right, everyone look for that on your ballot paper today.